Hey kids, we're coming to you live again from Will's Gayrodge. I'm Will, and this is my buddy Maddie. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Maddie.
Hey guys, I'm Maddie. I don't know what to say. I'm one of Will's friends. We met and we became quick friends. And I currently live in Las Vegas, but where I'm going is yet to be determined. But I'm happy to be here and be part of this uh, Gayrodge conversation. So
Basically, Lego sorting and talking about we're still sorting Legos. We're probably going to use my teeth like I did last time, and I know mom's like don't use your teeth.
don't you?
Maddie, go ahead and tell them what you do currently as a career. What do you do?
So I'm currently an in-flight instructor, so I train new flight attendants. But I have given actually after 5 years with one airline, I have actually given my notice today, 2 weeks, because on March 21st I start training with a new airline just to go back to being a flight attendant because training is not I don't want that much responsibility anymore, so I just want to fly and call it a day. So what better way to travel the world than get paid for doing it? So I'm going to make the shift and I'm going to be working for United Airlines before long. So
He's the one at the front of the plane that's going to be like coffee, tea, me.
you got me exactly.
Um,
Single,
so
ready to mingle.
So one of the other reasons I asked Maddie to be part of this today is he is also a what did you do before you were a flight attendant?
uh Well, let's dive into that. I'm actually an ENP, which stands for Emergency Nurse Practitioner.
So Maddie has a pretty good in and out knowledge of medical care here in the United States, especially in Texas and here in Florida. So one of the things that he's a professional, and that's one of the things that I like to talk about is that you know, last week's Gayrodge was all about the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act, which is being vilified right now as the "Don't Say Gay" bill, right? And I'm a professional in my job. Maddie's a professional in his job. He was definitely a professional in emergency room nursing care, and so that's one of the things that the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act is all about. Is like just be professional. It's preventing the teacher from becoming a vigilante and going off and going off script, if you will, which is what we're doing here. We've got we've got a little bit of a script here, just a little bit, but we're gonna go off script because it's what we do, right? So if I'm allowed to say that I'm Will and I'm a program coordinator SME and I've got a partner whose name is Mike. Maddie's in front of his classroom and he introduces himself. We don't get to sit there and sidebar in front of the classroom with the entire class and say, oh, and I'm gay. How does it make you feel? How do you feel about gay people? How do you feel about gay people being flight attendants? How do you feel about gay people in general?
Ironically, I have a story from one of my current students.
Okay, so
that kind of ties into this a little bit. So I don't do that. I don't stand up and be like, "Hi, I'm Maddie. I've been with the company for 5 years. I am now an instructor, Las Vegas based, all that stuff," right? So I use a lot of humor in my teaching because I feel like that helps students retain the information, because we throw a lot of information at these people for within a small span of time. So 4 weeks you learn all this information. Some airlines have longer trainings just due to the amount of aircrafts that they have. Where I'm currently at is 4 weeks of training for 3 different types of aircrafts. Like I said, I'm going to United, which is going to have multiple aircraft types, way more than 3. And it's going to be a 6.5 week training for me back in Houston, which is where I have a home and live there as well. But I was making light of something, just kind of joking around, because I do use a lot of humor in talking about things. And for some reason, one of the students got really offended, and she was like, first of all, hello. You can see the way I'm moving my hands. I'm a big homo. Whatever.
Flaming gay.
No, so she come up to me afterwards, and she asked if I had a problem with gay people because the way I said something in the tone that I said it in, and she said I should be ashamed of myself because we're talking about appearance and how we come across towards people and the perception. And I looked at her, I was like, honey, did you not get that I'm gay? And then it turned into this whole thing about, well, you can't make fun of gay people, and you should have said that you were gay before you said this, and you need to disclose that. You know, actually, no, I don't have to disclose that. And, I mean, I want to say, bitch, are you blind? Because, I mean, ain't nothing hiding the fact that I'm gay here. So,
But one of the things I will say about you is that, you know, you are very much a person that, you know, you're... And this is one of the things that that kind of chaps my ass about the, you know, I always talk about the fringes of society are speaking the loudest, and so the mainstream gets like lost in the sauce, right? And one of the things that I have noticed about you, and I notice about a lot of my friends, is, you know, you're not my straight friend who's, you know, whatever this, or my gay friend. You're just my friend. And one of the small aspects of who you are is that you're gay. You know, like, I've got plenty of friends on here that are watching that are I don't consider them like, oh, this is my straight friend so and so, or this is my straight friend so and so. It's just my friend Colin, or my friend Dave, or my friend Lisa. You know, your sexual preference is such a small aspect of who you are. And I've had a lot of gay people tell me, like, oh, no, being gay is, like, you know, a large part of who I am. Well, like really? Like, farting rainbows and shit and glitter? Hey, Jamie. So farting rainbows and shit and glitter is such a large part of who you are that you can't just be you? You know... Like he said, like, so he's making light of something, and they're like, oh, well, you should have said that you're gay first. Why? Why does having to say that you're gay, you know, why is that a thing? Why should he have to say that? You know, and so you know, I kind of get, so in the Florida Parental Rights in Education Act, they're not saying you can't say gay. They're not saying you can't say anything. What they're saying is that you're a math teacher, you need to teach math. You don't need to be, you don't need to go on this huge sidebar conversation about how, like, you're gay and your partner's gay, and how do gay people, you know, how do you feel about gay people? Because here's what I'm afraid of, and I kind of touched this with Maddie earlier this evening, is I said, so what happens if you've got a 5-year-old boy who thinks that kissing anybody's icky? You know, and so all of a sudden, you know, or exactly, like, oh, because, you know, oh, it's so weird because people are like, hey, I'm straight, you know, I'm the straight girl. So my thing was, like, so let's say a 5-year-old boy is just like, you know, I find it icky because he finds everything fucking icky. Like, you know, kissing a girl's gonna be icky. Kissing a boy's gonna be icky. Kissing a frog is gonna be, well, not, I mean, you know, 5-year-old boy probably thinks kissing a frog, you know. Because, you know, well, for boys were weird at 5.
That might be a telltale sign of something else, but whatever.
Exactly. But, you know, so you know, so that's the thing, is, like, it's the idea behind the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act is, you know, hi, I'm Will, I'm your math teacher, you know, and when they're like, oh, you got a wife, Mr. Means? I'm like, no, I've got a husband, you know, and whatever, and that's it. Keep going. Like, don't sit there and have a sidebar. How does that make you feel? You know, oh my God, I'm transgender. How does that make you feel? It's none of their fucking business, number one. I mean, if you're passable as a woman and you're a woman, then that's all that should matter, right? I mean, that's what you guys are trying to say, right? A transgender woman is a woman, which, I mean, I'm going to call bullshit anyway, because if you have to put trans in front of woman, you don't even believe your own bullshit. But anyway, so that was the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act, and you know, like, just how things are working with that. So this week's topics are going to be, I went to, we needed dog food, so I went to BJ's, and I got dog food, and I got a couple of other things, because we're going to the beach this weekend. Yay! Nude beach. Nudists. Oh, that was going to be another topic for this evening, was naturalists and nudists.
Naturalists, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so this 50-year-old woman is now, like, I swear to God, every aisle that I went down, I think she came down the opposite direction, like she was stalking me. And I really think, hey, Tom, like this, I really think this woman was flirting with me. And I'm like, girl, a nice shot glass. You like my shot glass? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so, you know, we talked about this 50-year-old woman who was flirting with me, and of course, you know, Mr. Coffee Tea or me over here immediately had a conversation with me about you have to tell him about the two situations you told me about, where one was pinchy, and then the second one,
slappy. Yeah.
No, the second
the other one. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was going to Aruba for work, and so I was the flight attendant. And there was this lady. She was probably a good, I would say probably 60, 65. So she's still young, but, you know, she still would fall under that cougar age, per se. And she was straight, and we've already covered it. I don't think we need to say again, I'm gay. All right, so. Gay. All right. It's gay day. All right.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, so I'm walking down the aisle, and I'm doing some service items and everything, and all of a sudden, she pinches my butt and she's like, hey, cutie. I'm like, well, hello. How you doing? So I just kind of keep going. We kind of laugh about it. And so then I'm going to, going to the aft
You're
galley.
old enough to be grandma.
Yeah. So that time I was going towards the aft galley. Well, I had to go back to the forward galley because I was the lead flight attendant, or what we would call a purser. And so I was going back to the forward galley, and she then just smacked my ass. I mean, like, it was loud. The whole mid-cabin was like, what the fuck? Was there just a gunshot? And I've got a lot of ass back there. So, but I was just like, okay, all right. Well, and I finally had to politely be like, honey, I'm like, don't touch the flight attendant. We don't like it. Don't poke our fat. Don't slap our ass. Don't pinch our ass. Don't sit there and wave your little. Don't do that to us. We don't care, because 99% of us male flight attendants are gay. Just realize, yeah.
Sorry
about it. Sorry about it. Yeah. So then another one. I was going to Cancun, and on the way to Cancun, once again in the aisle doing my thing, talking to guests, because that's kind of the thing. You know, if you don't fly, we don't have a job. So thank you for flying. Please start flying United now that I'm going to work for them. Anyway, I was talking to this couple, and, you know, I really liked the couple. They were really cool and everything. So I may or may not have provided them with a little extra alcohol that they may have requested at no charge. Good guest service, right? And
helping you fly the friendly skies.
Helping you fly the friendly skies. Cheers.
Oh.
There you go.
Fucking crack that
bitch open. Well, I was talking to this couple, and we were it was initial descent, so we're getting ready to land in Cancun. And the dude was like, yo, he's like, we're going to this, I forget the name of it, but it was a swingers resort. He's like, we're going to the swingers resort named something. I don't remember what it was, but he's like, do you have a layover? I'm like, I do. He's like, you want to come with us? I'm like, I don't. Sorry. I mean, he was cute as hell, but his wife, I couldn't. I can't do the cooch. So I was out at that point. Had it been just him, I'd been like,
I just want to tell all of my friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the hot mess.
I am a hot fucking
Can't
mess.
do the cooch.
Can't do the cooch. So you guys are gonna. You think Will's hot mess?
Oh yeah. If you thought it couldn't get any worse than Will, oh trust me, it gets worse than Will.
It really does.
I mean, it's not worse. It's just I think Will has met his evil twin from another mother.
Pretty much.
And yeah, and that's why we kind of get along so well.
Yeah.
Mike said that he's late dropping off someone. I can't remember who he said that was, but anyway, are you giving the sick look?
Who's that?
Art.
Oh.
Yeah, Art's the best. Art.
Hi, Art.
Art, John, Tom, like all these guys. They're
John.
They're just they're all retired chief petty officers too. So anyway.
Thank you for your service.
So. No, thank you for your service. Anyway, So yeah, so that's cougars hitting on us. I would have said yes. I'm gonna go to the swingers club, but your wife is gonna have to fucking get lost.
To be fair, I was not single at the time, so that's another reason why I didn't go. That was probably the biggest reason. I just kind of left that
What
out.
happens in Cancun stays in Cancun, right?
I was not single at the time. I think the anyway. No, I was taken at the time, so there was no way I was gonna do that because I was in the
homie don't play that.
Homie don't play that. I was in a monogamous relationship at the time. So
yeah, I know this weird thing in the gay community called a monogamous relationship.
we should have a topic on that.
Oh, you know what? Future topics.
Future topics. Monogamy.
Gay monogamy.
So
that's going to be an interesting topic. You guys should chime in for that one because it's
very taboo.
Well, it's not really taboo. But you know, look,
I think depending
we'll
on
end
who
up
your
talking.
audience
No, we'll
is.
end up talking about it, and that's not. We're gonna stay on script today. We're gonna stay on script.
Cougars. Back to cougars.
Well, no.
Or are we moving on?
I think we pretty much touched on cougars. It's kind of nice. It's sad. It's sad that I'm only hit on by older, mid-50s women instead of gay men. But look, I'll take the compliment for what it was. I'm attractive. She finds me attractive. That's all that matters.
And that is not true. He gets hit on by guys all the time.
Whatever. I do not.
So,
yeah, hit on by fisticuffs and shit. That's about all the hit I get. Anyway, so that was number one on my. I was like, what am I gonna do for? Oh shit, I'm fucking this up too.
What are you fucking up?
Well, so there's two different. One's got a little clippy. One's got one doesn't. And so I'm mixing my clippies with my non-clippies. So we're sorting Legos again. I think we've already talked about that. For those of you who are just joining in, this is welcome to Will's Gayrodge, where it's
Gay people do garage things.
Yeah, well. It's basically me sorting Legos, which was last week. Now it's me and Maddie sorting Legos. This is my friend Maddie. He's a flight attendant. He's flies the Friendly Skies. He's also a certified emergency room nurse practitioner, which is another reason. Which our last two topics are going to be very very passionate for him. So yeah, we're here today. We're talking about a couple of different subjects. So we briefly touched on last week's Florida Parental Rights and Education Act, and that it's inappropriately being mislabeled as the "Don't Say Gay" bill, which I think is disingenuous and it's kind of evil, really. In my opinion. May I ask why the term stewardess is obsolete? Because there's men now.
I guess. I mean, stewards, but I guess some bleeding heart liberal got offended by it. Maybe. I don't know. Should I have said that or not?
No, you can say that because
Okay.
I
call me a steward.
I don't want to. I hate the fact that it's liberal. I really wish that we'd call them what they are. They're not fucking liberals because liberal means liberty and liberty means freedom. And really what these people are is they're anti-freedom people. They don't want you to have the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion and the freedom of anything else. They want you to be my way or the highway.
So it's only valid if it's their point.
Well, there's an acronym called We Are Right. The acronym is WAR, right? And I really think that's what they want. They want war because we are right and you are wrong. That's bullshit. Oh. So fair enough. Facts. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Art. So that's why it's not stewardess.
Yeah.
I think that why can't he be a steward? If she's a stewardess, why can't he be a steward?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they are, right?
I mean, I have been called Super Stew.
Oh, that's right, because you can't gender me, right? That's the new thing. You can't don't gender me.
I'm sorry.
So he might be a stewardess. You never fucking know. Don't gender him.
No, I'm a stew.
So let's see. We talked about the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act. We talked about cougars flirting with gay men. Ooh, poor Florida drivers. One of my favorite topics of conversation is poor Florida drivers and camping in the fucking left lane. Because that's what it is. You're camping in the left lane. If you're not actively passing somebody and getting the fuck back over in the right lane, you're camping in the left lane. And you deserve every bit of vitriol and hate that anybody gives you. I'm sorry.
True.
Pass the fucking car on your right and get the fuck back over.
Yeah. I have to say that as a non-Floridian, I'm a Nevada resident, and drivers suck everywhere. Let's just be real.
Oh, it is.
People are dicks everywhere. Not everyone, but there are dicks everywhere.
I will say that of all the states I've ever been in, Texas has got it pretty good. Texas, they know how to pass on the left and get back in the right and drive, because you will get pulled over and given a ticket in the great state of Texas if you're camping in the left lane. Yeah, you're fucked.
Living in Texas for 14 years in Houston, everyone's going fucking fast, so it doesn't really matter if you're in the left lane or not. We're gonna go 20 over the speed limit. If not, you're gonna get ran off the road. So it works out. So yes, I agree. Michigan drivers are pretty solid. I have a good friend of mine that lives outside of Detroit in one of the suburbs. I think it's actually between Detroit and Ann Arbor, somewhere along that way. Cute little area, and wonderful place. And the drivers are very courteous there. I was very surprised, because I took like a little Michigan tour of the Lower Peninsula, and kind of started in Detroit, went up to like Saginaw, through this wonderful little town called Frankenmuth that I'm sure every Michigander knows, and then kind of went down, kind of through Grand Rapids, and then ended up around Traverse City, and then down and back into Detroit. And very courteous drivers there in Michigan. So I'm a big fan of Michigan. So go Michigan. So
Isn't it Michigan State Wolverines? Isn't that
is it the Wolverines? Yeah, so go Wolverines. We'll call it that.
Yeah, we'll call them Wolverine. Yeah, Red Dawn Wolverines. Anyway,
yes.
So yes, I'm a fucking nerd. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Somewhere?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so they're with bad drivers. My God. So
they're Spartans. Or
is Spartans or state? Michigan State. Well,
so
who's the
Wolverines? Are they? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody want to Google?
Oh, Wolverines is U of M, University of Michigan.
Well, that's technically the state's college is university.
Well, they're both state schools, but one is Michigan.
Well,
State.
no, but everybody University of Arkansas is the Razorbacks. That's the state mascot is the Razorbacks. So University of Michigan would be the Wolverines. So that's you said Spartans or no? Yes. University
State.
of Michigan is Wolverines. Michigan State, yeah. Well, yeah, just like the Arkansas State is, I want to say the Bears.
Jonesboro. No, they were Indians, but now they are, because there was that goes back to the whole thing of sensitivity and everything. They were the Indians, and now I think they're, I want to say they're Wolverines too now, so I don't know.
So fun facts by Will Means. Maddie is actually grew up in Arkansas as well. I grew up in Northwest Arkansas, and he grew up in South Central Arkansas.
I grew up in a small town of 20,000 people, a little town that should be called El Dorado, but they call it
El Dorado. Yeah. Well, they're fucking. They actually had, believe it or not, they actually had a vote to decide whether we were going to be called Arkansans or Arkansasians. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, and they voted to be called Arkansans, and I was like, Arkansasians? What the fuck is an Arkansasian? But there were actually people who they did not refer to themselves as Arkansans. No, they were Arkansasians because
they're stupid as fuck.
Well, because they're.
And I can say that being from Arkansas. So
no, you're right. They were fucking their sister. I mean, like it's really no fucking questions. Like
there used to be a time in my past that I would do everything in my power to hide the fact that I was from Arkansas. But the fact that I became a nurse practitioner and now I'm like super Stu, I'm like, you know what, bitches, I actually did something with my life. So I hopefully can break the stereotype of all Arkansans. But
I already
probably not.
I already broke the stereotype. I went out to like third cousin instead of sister. So
third cousin's fine. You can marry your third cousin.
I know, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm looking up what they are.
What?
The Arkansas State University. They're the Wolves. It's right here. Okay, They're the Red Wolves. So, all right, good to know. I did not know that. They were when I lived in Arkansas and was looking at universities. They were called the Indians, and but I did not go to Arkansas State. I actually went to University of Oklahoma for undergrad, and then University of Missouri for grad school. Oh, is this the same ones?
Yeah, I figure we'll converge.
We'll converge
files. So shitty drivers. So
fucking A.
So I am pulling up. I'm in my lane and I'm traveling, right? I'm not back to flight attendant question. Will tattoos ever become acceptable or no because of the diversity of passengers?
Well, I think. Like I said, I'm about to start working for United as a flight attendant, and they do allow tattoos to show. The only thing is that they have to be of a certain size. Your employee badge, which is probably about this big, has to be able to cover it. So, like my tattoo right here would not fall under that. So I'd have to cover this because it's a little too big. But it's a start. So that's a good thing because I want to be able to show diversity through our body art. And I think a lot of guests or passengers on board the aircraft would appreciate that as well.
Well, I believe that So here's the thing, and this is where companies don't realize and I Art, you're right, and I'm starting a sleeve myself.
I'm getting a sleeve over here.
And here's what I think is one of the things that we don't think about, right? We were actually taught how to buck the system, right? I mean, the Navy taught me for 21 years how to buck the system. First and foremost, they made me a semio, so I know all about equal opportunity and how to fucking make something equal opportunity, right? So, call it a religious... This is part of my religious belief, and you can't prevent me from expressing my religious beliefs. Challenge that shit. I consider myself a Celtic druid, and this is part of my druidic heritage that says that it tells a story of who I am. So how are you going to deny me my religious belief? With if a flight attendant can wear a hijab, or a full-on burqa, then why can't I have a sleeve tattoo? I think that's one of the big things that we really need to start focusing on is we were taught how to buck the system, so now start bucking the system. Now granted, they can say, well, we're going to invite you to become a passenger instead of a flight attendant. That's great. Now we're going to go talk to a lawyer, and we're going to sue the fucking piss out of whoever tells me that I can't show my religious beliefs and fires me for my religious beliefs, because that's this thing called illegal, right? Isn't that what the employment, the equal opportunity, or let's see, I want to say it's the Civil Rights Act, but I'm fucking dumb right now. Oh, it is that simple. It really is that simple, Art. The problem is that Here's the thing, and I don't want to insult your intelligence, Art. You're a fucking intelligent man, and I know you are. But I think that's the problem, is people don't think it's that simple, so they don't do it. I'm not going to mention any names. Proactive Technologies actually changed their dress code after I quit, because I wore red and blue and purple hair into work, and I wore a kilt to work. And they actually wrote me up for wearing the kilt to work and said it was not within their culture, the company's culture, for me to wear a kilt. I actually filed a case against the Equal Opportunity Commission in Miami for it. I did. I filed a case against them, and I'm going to continue with the case, because how are you going to tell me that it's against your culture? In 2022, and I know that, Art and I have this whole belief on transgenderism, but how are you going to gender label me? How dare you gender label me? That's just asking for a lawsuit. So me wearing a kilt is against your culture? Like, first off, it's male attire, so how is it against your culture for me to wear male attire into work? But yeah, it is that, and I actually sat down and I told him, I said, he's like, do you feel that, that your dress is appropriate? I said, absolutely. I said, if we're a company that believes in cultural diversity and inclusion, then my attire is not only 100% appropriate, but is expected and encouraged. And then they said it was against their culture, which then I had to show them that, okay, so the owner of the company was retired Army, and the COO was retired Navy, and I'm like, do you want me to explain to you the Scots? I said, the father of the Navy is a Scotsman. If we're a defense company that's focused on defense contracting, then it's 100% your culture to be Scottish and to show Scottish roots and Scottish heritage. John Paul Jones was a Scotsman. He kicked the British's ass. And then, by the way, fun facts by Will Means, he went to Russia, and he's the father of the Russian Navy and the American Navy. How do you like that? I actually put a PowerPoint presentation together and showed all the different tartans for all the different branches of service, and how, wearing a kilt and kilts are 100% military culture. And you go to a Navy ball, go to an Army ball, go to a Marine Corps ball, you will see a kilt there. It's our culture. So yeah, wear the sleeve. It's your religious belief, and fuck them if they don't like it. So shitty drivers. I was in the I was in the far right hand lane, and this asshole in front of me. So one of the things that I learned after 2 major accidents in the state of Florida is I need a dash cam on my car, and I have a dash cam in my car, and Mike has a dash cam in his.
So
because
does that record the inside and the outside?
Just the outside. Well, it records audio. So if we're sitting here talking 8 kinds of mad shit about the drivers, it's going to record that. So I like to. I will say, like, Mike has been caught doing it. I love doing it myself.
I do it all the time.
But I actually, you will hear me sometimes in the videos going, and Your Honor, this is why the asshole got fucking hit. Because he wasn't paying attention, emerged right into my fucking lane, didn't even turn signal, nothing, right? Which is actually what happened today. This asshole was like in his lane, tried to get in my lane, went back into his lane, then came back into my lane, and I slam on my brakes, and I'm like, can you just figure it the fuck out? Figure it the fuck out, asshole. And of course, I may have had my windows down, and he may have had his windows down. So he told me I was number 1, right? Well, I just reached up and took a picture of his tag, because if he wants to get fucking froggy, I've got an electronic record of this asshole like wanting to be a dickhead,
and he's ready to leap.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be like, Your Honor, and this was the asshole who decided to get out of his car after improper lane change, no turn signal, and get in my face about how I'm the fucking asshole not heeding right away to his fucking ratchet ass. Like it's really one of the reasons why I got a dash cam is because of the poor drivers here. Like,
pretty bad.
I just want to say, you know what, USAA, you're gonna win this hands down. This is not my fault. You're gonna win this hands down. Here's the video of this idiot, and go from there.
And now I get it for, like, here in Orlando. Like, I get the tourist areas, like where you get around the theme parks and iDrive and all that stuff. But what kills me is when you go outside of the tourist areas, or even in the tourist areas or outside the tourist areas here in Orlando, that I've noticed, the ones that are the worst drivers are the ones that have Orange County on their license plates. You know the motherfuckers live here, so they should know what the hell that they're doing. But I've spent a lot of time in South Florida too, and Miami-Dade County, fucking A, that is the worst thing. That's the worst driving I've ever experienced. Is Miami-Dade County. It gets a little bit better with the Broward County as you go further north, and then Palm Beach County, so forth. But Florida drivers, to me, have been some of the worst drivers, but I think a lot of that, too, is attributed to it's such a melting pot here. You have crazy people from California, New York.
Well, and that's one of the things that, a lot of my friends will say that, the bad driving are people that's coming from, hey, Chris, how's it going? Mass Chief. One of the things friends of mine will say is like, the South Florida drivers are bad because it's all the New Yorkers that have come down here. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I did Fleet Week in 1996 in New York, and I will tell you right now, New Yorkers have a bad rap because those fuckers rolled out the red carpet for the military and welcomed us with open arms. Like I was 20 years old. I was not legal to drink alcohol, and I could not stop getting drinks bought for me everywhere we went. And we're in whites, and like they loved us. And I swear to God, I think that to this day, if you're a sailor and you're in New York for Fleet Week and you're not wearing your whites, you're a fucking idiot. You're gonna get more things given to you free on a silver platter than you will anywhere else. And it's nice to know that the people love you. Like my next door neighbors are New Yorkers. They come down here and they love it. But here's what I noticed when we were in Fleet Week, right? Every car. There wasn't every taxi, every police car, every ambulance, every bus, you name every car had a dent in it. Every car. There wasn't a car that didn't have a dent in it. But here's the thing, right? Unless that car is undrivable, you keep fucking driving. Like, I'm here to tell you right now, you don't stop driving in New York. Don't stop driving. You know, so they give New Yorkers a bad rap for not being able to drive. These fuckers don't stop driving. Like, you drive your goddamn car. Oh, you bumped into somebody. Hey, what is it they say? Rubbing is racing. So keep going down the road, brother. But this whole like, you know, oh, it's the northern drivers that are the bad drivers. No, it's southerners. I swear to God, more southerners are on a Sunday drive looking at their goddamn cell phone, right?
Today we were out and about. He came and got me from my hotel, and literally just from the hotel to his house here, which is a good probably like 20 minutes, so not very far at all, 4 fucking accidents. 4! And I guarantee you all of them had something to do with the cell phone, because everybody these days are
paying more attention to a cell phone than they are their actual driving. And here's my thing with it, right? And I've said this a couple of times, and I get a whole bunch of you know, my rights. You know, first off, driving is a privilege. It's not a right. That's how your privilege can be taken away. He's saying same in Boston. They drive their cars
Boston's
in Boston.
fucking
you know. But here's my thing. I believe that we need to petition a national law that if your car is going, if your cell phone is registered as going faster than 5 miles an hour, because with geo-tracking you can tell, then your phone shuts off. No text messages, no phone calls, no emails, no Google, no nothing. The only thing that'll work is a 911 call and GPS. That's it. You put your address in and push go, and GPS will get you there, and you can 911. If you need to make a phone call, you need to slow down and stop, pull the fuck over, and make your phone call. You want to Google some shit? Google some shit. Because here's the thing, right? Let me see your phone for just a second, because we're using my phone for... But okay, so I'm the driver. I'm not distracted driving. I'm hands-free and everything else. But yet here he is going, hey, look at this shit. What? No, stop. Here's an idea. Just talk to the passengers. Talk to the passengers. And quit being distracted by these goddamn things. You know what? Your text message can fucking wait. We won World War goddamn II. We won World War II. Without fucking cell phones.
though.
Your life can fucking go on without your goddamn cell phone attached to your hip.
Classic Hollywood actress Hedy Lamarr, though, did invent a tool that actually is used in Bluetooth today, but it actually helped us win World War II. But that's a topic for another day.
What?
So,
well, what'd you say her name was? So gay monogamy and who? What the blue?
Hedy Lamarr,
Hedy.
classic Hollywood actress.
Well, 1950s actress. She probably 1930s.
No, she was 30s.
Actress.
She was 30s.
But
she's of Austrian descent.
Oh my god! But anyway, just stop fucking googling and whatever, and just fucking drive. Anyway, so that's shitty. That's poor Florida drivers. So let's see. For those of you that are just joining us, I know that there was some new guys. Chris Shornick just came in. So we talked about last week's Florida Parental Rights and Education Act and how it's vilified as "Don't Say Gay." We gave our opinions on that. We talked about how both of us have had cougars flirting with gay men. We talked about poor Florida drivers. Now, Art, your conversation today struck a nerve with me, and I read your comments or your list of stuff that you said that was said to you to Maddie, and it pissed him off too.
Oh my god. Oh, that's all I can say.
So I really don't think, to be honest with you, I'm not going to put your business out there on Front Street, but I will say that I have PTSD issues, and I have some I don't know what it is. I have anger issues. I'm
What?
I know. I do have anger issues. I have severe frustration issues. Um, you know, I suffer from a form of PTSD. And I know I do. I every time they go down the list of, are you hyper aware of your surroundings? Are you always on edge? Are you, like, yes, every fucking time, yes. And I honestly think that it comes from, and it might be something that I don't think is really diagnosed that much, but I think it really comes from don't ask, don't tell. Constantly being on guard, always watching over your shoulder. You never know when somebody's going to find out you're gay and kick you out of the military, and you're going to ruin. Like, I did not realize what I was setting myself up for when I was a third class petty officer in the late 90s. I didn't realize what I was setting myself up for as a young second class petty officer in the early 2000s. I didn't realize as a chief in the late 2000s to 2010s that I was setting myself up for a retirement and life that is actually pretty good. Like, I'll tell you right now that I'm in a place right now where I don't really have to work.
Lucky bitch.
I mean, I work because, like, it's what every member of my family's done. We have a work ethic that is second to none. Like, you go to fucking work. My father, when he moved to Arkansas, worked for the same company from 1979 to 1994. And he called in sick once. My dad had walking pneumonia and was working in the factory, throwing up in a trash can and doing his job. And when the plant manager walked by and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Go home." Like, they almost had to take my dad out at gunpoint. He's like, "No, I got fucking work to do." Like, that's the work ethic that we have. Like, that's my family's work ethic. And so I didn't realize that setting myself up for what I have now, like, I didn't realize that. But to be always looking over your shoulder, wondering if, like, I had a second class petty officer. Her name was Dion Conrad. She's a retired Navy chief. I mean, it seems like everybody that I was ever friends with that made a career all retired as chiefs. The ones that I weren't friends with always retired as first class petty officers. I guess there's something to that. So Dion looked at me one day and she said, "Will, if you want to keep your secret, you need to talk to the girls." And I was like, "Well, I talk to girls all the time. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about." And she was saying, talk to the girls, right? Because and that's how it dawned on me then and now how women know men are gay. We talk to their face. Straight men don't talk to women's faces. They talk to their tits. But gay men talk to a woman's face. Like, right in the eyes. Talk to the face. So that's when it like, and I'll tell you right now, when she said that, it scared the piss out of me, because I'm like, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell. They can tell because you're talking to their face, and most men don't do that. So either you're not interested in them because you're not interested in them, or you're not heterosexual guy. And yeah, so constantly having to look over your shoulder, I think there's some PTSD there. I think that the PTSD is because of that. I also know that I suffer from a case of PTSD because of I know, yeah. It's okay.
They're similar.
I suffer from a mild case of PTSD because of a couple of accidents that I've been in. I mean, I don't know, most people that know me have heard the story about how my father passed. We were in a truck on the way home, and he had a massive heart attack and lost consciousness. Driving down the road at 65 miles an hour. 1 minute we're talking and laughing about the fact that they finally took Clinton's name off the sign going into Arkansas, and the next minute, bam, unconscious. I had to reach over, grab the wheel, get us to the side of the road, ABCs, the whole 9 yards. 911, get me a fucking ambulance. Yeah, I heard all about how I was yelling at this 911 operator to get me a fucking ambulance. Get me a fucking ambulance. Get me a fucking ambulance. That's all I could say to her was, get me a fucking ambulance. Now, granted, I mean, I'm sure that there's some PTSD there, and I need to work through it or whatever and get healed. But when you have a counselor cancel your appointment at the time the appointment is, that's not a cancellation.
No.
That's poor treatment. Period. And that's what happened to Art today. His appointment was at 9:00, and this receptionist, not the clinician, the receptionist canceled his appointment at 9:00 and rescheduled it. And he's making some very valid points, and this is where we need to start taking action against medical professionals. I don't get sick leave. I get paid time off. That's all I get is paid time off. And I get 10 hours of paid time off a month. So if I need to go to the doctor, I have to take my personal paid time off to go see the doctor. I don't get sick. I don't get a sick leave like some people do. I have to take paid time off. So if my appointment's at 9:30 and you're not coming in till 10:45, I don't think you should get the full fucking copay on that. You were late to your job. If I'm late to my job, I get dock pay or fired. But yet you can be late to your job and not get docked pay, not be held accountable for the fact that you were late to your job. And I get it. I understand what they do. They triple, quadruple, quintuple book their appointments so that Mike's home. The dogs are going fucking nuts. We're doing live from Will's Gayrodge. I know, oh Lord. So if I'm late to work, I get docked pay or I get an occurrence or something else. If a doctor is late for their appointment, nothing is done to them. Art says hi, Mike.
Hi.
He says hey. So we need to start holding them accountable, and I really think that it comes down to the copay. If the insurance wants to pay them 100% because they were late, then fine. The insurance can pay them 100%. But I really think that we need to start paying the copay after the visit. I mean, you know what? The doctor was 45 minutes late. I'm not paying the $20. I'll pay you $5 because that's what I got. I got $5 worth of care instead of $20 worth of care. And you know what? Here he is. Here he is, emergency room nurse practitioner. That's agreeing with that. Is agreeing with me 110%.
It is, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think.
Hi, Mike. Mike's now live watching us.
Oh, hi, Mike. No, I think for sure there are a lot of medical professionals out there, and I know Art's story wasn't necessarily the medical provider themselves, but yet again their employee. But at the end of the day, medical professionals take an oath.
To do no harm.
To do no harm. And these days, it's not about... I feel like from my personal experience, and I have extensive experience from the Texas Medical Center, which is the world's largest medical center. Everything in the United States, medicine is so money-driven, and it makes it very difficult for... certain individuals to turn down that kind of money, right? So,
You're not saying doctors are greedy, are you? That doctors cannot hypocritical oath instead of Hippocratic oath. Yeah, you go
absolutely.
hypocritical oath.
Because just like anybody else, doctors. I kind of equate doctors to politicians in a way. You can buy them off so easily because I can't tell you how many doctors I've seen that have someone in authority that they changed their opinion or their thoughts on something just because of the fact that there was money being thrown their way. And I get it. We all want money. We all want to have that lifestyle. But I would much rather earn my money ethically and treat. One of the reasons I stepped out of medicine was because of the fact that I found myself so discouraged and I found myself so boggled down in just the bureaucracy, and I started not treating my patients as well as they should have been, and that's when I knew it was time to go, because everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. And if I wasn't going to do that, I needed to remove myself. And unfortunately, there's a lot of medical professionals that aren't self-aware enough or realize their own behaviors to remove themselves as they should. Because when I first started in medicine, I loved it. I loved helping people. But working with doctors that are quote unquote greedy or able to be paid off really took a toll on me, especially when you get into these big hospital facilities, because I worked for the largest, most of my career was in the largest healthcare facility in Texas. It was the largest healthcare system, I should say. And don't get me wrong, that these are very capable doctors, but at the end of the day, you have to treat people with respect. And these people who are coming to you, whether it's physical illness, mental illness, whatever it may be, we all suffer from something, and we all want to be heard. We all want to be validated. We all need to know that there's someone there when we have these emotions or when we feel sick. We need to be taken care of. And these doctors have just gotten so far away from what they started with and that Hippocratic oath. And
if you open up the garage, if you open up the garage door, you'll notice that there's a brown bag right in front that says Mike on it. And the refrigerator door. Sorry, I got Mike his dinner, and well, you said Navy medicine is well, yeah. Which I'll tell you. So VA and medical health care is going to be the segue into our last topic for today. So yeah, I you know what, Art, I might just bring you on to talk about your experiences with it, because like he was saying, how it's god awful on his end. I get it. I understand the money behind it. It's like, so you're going to triple and quadruple book appointments because you never know when somebody's going to cancel. But if people don't cancel, now you've got 4 appointments at one time you've got to deal with, and you've overextended yourself.
I have seen doctors illegally turn away veterans, telling them they need to go to the VA. And that is ridiculous to me, because I'm sorry, but our veterans fought and they served for all of us just plain civilians to have what we have today, and they deserve better in all aspects of life. So I'm not mad that Will served and he doesn't have to work now. He chooses to work. I'm not mad about that because he earned that. Those that have served have earned the right to be taken care of in all aspects, whether it's financially, whether it's medically. But for some reason, you guys end up with the short end of the stick, and that fucking pisses me off.
Because the bottom line is we're all political pawns. That's really all the military is a political pawn, right? We're not the rook, we're not the knight, we're not the bishop, we're not the king or the queen. We're pawns, and pawns are expendable. And the sad part is, like, don't get it twisted. Officers come from nobility, right? So the nobility were the officers and the peasants were the enlisted, right? That's how it was back in the day. In today's VA system, guess what? Officers aren't treated any different than the enlisted are, because guess what? You're a veteran now. Your officer enlisted status doesn't mean dick. Sorry about it. So if you're one of those poor veterans that's sitting there drinking themselves to death in a American Legion fucking hall because you failed to realize that for 20 fucking years it was just a fucking job. You can't get past the fact that you were Commander Smith or Lieutenant Colonel Jones or you were Master Chief fucking whatever. Like, I'm sorry, it was just a fucking job. It was a job that I had for 21 fucking years. And you know what? It really wasn't a fucking good one either. If we're going to talk brass tacks, it really wasn't a good job. It was It was fucking high school. It was fucking high school. I'm a senior, you're a freshman. You can't talk to me like that.
Isn't everything fucking high school these days?
It really is. It's, well, Mike said that before COVID shut down the Contemporary, he said that he used to work at Contemporary High. Contemporary High. They actually called his fucking job Contemporary High because they acted like fucking high school kids. He talks about shit that drives me crazy. Like, I like it. And I get where so here's the other thing too, right? I get that everything is political, but it fucking shouldn't have to be. So he's walking a very fine political line where he doesn't want to rock the boat because he wants to get. I get it. Like once he hits 10 years, he gets that gate card for life. He can go to Disney anytime he wants to. He doesn't have to retire from the company. All he's got to do is hit 10 years, and you get you're in that golden age of look, I go work for the fucking mouse full time for 10 years and suck down a lot of bullshit. Because, I mean, if I did it for 21 in the Navy, I can do it for 10 for the mouse, right? But, sit there and don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. Don't call HR. Just maybe rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. So, anyway, just don't rock the boat. Bide your time. Get the fuck out. And then you do realize there's two different ones of these, right? There's
no. Well, fuck a duck. Well, I'm obviously not good at sorting things.
How many times do we hear attention to detail in the military? Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to detail. I fucking love it. But
I'm not in the military.
So I know, but so going back to my point, but some of the shit that Mike has to deal with, I mean, and I'm learning slowly that he's just venting at me. Are you fucking serious? When I tried to kill myself in the hospital in March of 2009, I begged the nurse to let me talk to a shrink. TRICARE said no. I called Military One Source and was denied help by them 4 different times, so I was 3 hours from killing myself via overdose while in the hospital. My life was saved by a chief who called me that day and could tell something was wrong, so he spent 3 hours calling different bases until he found my command and spoke to a corpsman who came and tossed my hospital room and found all of my pills. TRICARE said no because I was 30 miles from military treatment facility despite the fact that I was fully in hospital. Yeah, I know, Art. I know you've told me that before, but I just wanted to, So guess what? You know what? We're fuck it. We're gonna segue now. We're gonna segue now into, folks. Did you hear that? Did you hear what Art just said? That's single payer system. That's a single payer system. It's government healthcare. That's government healthcare, and that's TRICARE. That he was active duty when that happened. So think about that. That's active duty healthcare. We're now in the VA where his appointment at 9 o'clock was canceled at 9 o'clock and told, oh, by the way, well, you're not fucking listening to me. We rescheduled it for 2 weeks from now. And Art's like, you're not listening to me. You never fucking told me. And I wouldn't know unless I called you, which I just did. That's the healthcare you want? That's I'm sorry. Guess what? That's Obamacare. That's single payer system. That's the government telling you what you can and cannot get because they can. And I'll tell you right now, listen to people that live overseas. Do you know why people with sniffles and stuff like that 911 themselves to emergency rooms overseas? Because if you go into an emergency room with a sniffle overseas in Britain's a prime example. Britain, you go overseas with a sniffle, you won't get called back for hours. As a matter of fact, you might have to go home and come back the next day and still not be seen for hours. Because the clinic is booked solid for months.
Canada's very similar.
You know, so they realize that you have to be seen if you're brought in through an ambulance. So if I've got a sniffle, I'm 911ing myself to the hospital so I can be seen for a fucking sniffle. So now what they're doing is they're learning to buck the system. So now ambulances are literally circling the fucking parking lot, waiting to get a parking spot because instead of the people being in the waiting room now, they're in fucking ambulances out in the parking lot. That's how bad it is. And that's what you want here in the United States when you say you want single payer. You tout fucking Europe so bad, but you have no fucking clue. You know, here's the thing, right? Go there. Stop listening to what people fucking tell you and go there. Go there and experience for yourself why people are coming to our country for our fucking health care that we pay for versus overseas where you know they have 10 hip replacements a year. You're not on the list this year. Sorry about it. You don't get a hip replacement. You don't get on the list next year. You're not getting it next year either. So you know what they do? They just fucking load you up full of pain pills and say, well, suck it up and deal with it until we can get you a fucking hip replacement. United States, we can get you a hip replacement done in fucking 3 weeks.
Not less.
Right? Oh, you just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and you need chemotherapy fucking yesterday? You get chemotherapy fucking yesterday in the United States. You go down, you get chemotherapy. You want to see somebody die? Watch them be at stage 4 cancer in fucking Europe and they need chemotherapy yesterday. You're on the waiting list for the next 6 fucking months until a bed or a seat opens up that you can get chemo. That's the care. That's the health care that they want us to go to. You know what it is? It's ration care that's only good for the healthy. If you're sick, oh. Who did the coronavirus attack? The most. Who did the coronavirus attack? The elderly and the infirm, right? People with, people who are fat. Because let's face it, I'm sorry, your body positivity bullshit is exactly that, bullshit. Oh, you can't tell me that I'm fat and I need a diet because you're a doctor and you're trying to tell me what's healthy for me? Yeah, those assholes, the fat bastards, and the fucking old. That's what coronavirus attacked. I believe that that's exactly why it was allowed to do what it did. Look at what it did to Italy. It decimated their elderly population. You know how much of a drain is no longer on the healthcare system in Italy because it killed the entire elderly population over there? Do you know what drain is no longer on the German healthcare system because it killed the elderly in Germany, in France, in Spain, UK, United States? The drain on the elderly, the drain on the medical system is now lessened because of the elderly being killed off by coronavirus. The silence is deafening. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you what. The facts are a little too convincing for me. But you know what did kill my mother? Because look, I come from strong stock, motherfucker. You better come at us with more than just a goddamn virus. I've been HIV positive since 2009. Now, I got coronavirus too. Ain't no virus gonna kill us. You better come at us with a fucking axe or a goddamn hammer. I'm just letting you know that shit right now. But yeah, that's what single payer healthcare is going to do for our country. It's gonna basically, we're basically going to ration care. The elderly is going to get shit fucking care because they will. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. Because here's the deal: there's only a finite amount of money, and and these assholes that have been complaining about the top 1%, making all this money, and they need to pay their fair share and all this other nice happy shit. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You see the two of us, right? You see the two of us? We're technically the top 1%. Because what they've done is they've effectively taken the poor, right? You have the poor, the middle class, and the rich, right? The poor have basically been told that anybody who makes more than them is the top 1%. So the two of us who are middle class guys, right? We're the problem with society because we've done well for ourselves. We have nice things to show for it. We're both homeowners. Oh my God, are you kidding me? We're definitely the top 1%. Tax piss out of us. Because we're homeowners, right? We own homes. Oh, the poor don't own homes, but the top 1% does, right? So let me tell you what these people are, right? And this is gonna be my final thoughts on all this mess. My buddy Mike Zott and I agree. Socialists are petulant fucking children who are envious of our success and are jealous of our wealth, and they will do everything they possibly can to take it away. That's all socialism is it's envy of success and jealous of possessions. And what will they do? They'll do exactly what every fucking socialist has done in the history of ever to take away the money and possessions of the people who have busted their ass to get it, just to turn around and give it to the lazy motherfuckers who don't want to do what it takes to get it. Because I'll tell you right now, none of us we two pig fuckers from Arkansas, ignorant bumfuck hillbillies. One of us went to college, became a fucking nurse. The other one I just solemnly swear to get the fuck out of Northwest Arkansas and do some shit with my life. That's it. I'm not better than him. He's not better than me. We're both two pig fuckers from Arkansas. But yet we're successful because we didn't allow people to say no and get in our fucking way.
Oh, I like Adam Ruins Everything. That's a very interesting show.
Oh, I've watched Adam Ruins Everything. He's for satire comedy, he's fucking brilliant. But so I'm going to go back to socialists are petulant fucking children. And the sad part is we, and when I say we, Matt's 40, I'm 46. Art, you're what, mid-40s? Just like the rest of us? We need to look in the mirror. Because we're the ones that did it. We taught generation fucking, Z, millennials, all that like, they're our fault. We're the ones that did it. Because we didn't realize that there were lessons that our parents, yeah, you're 41. There's lessons that our parents were teaching us that we didn't fucking get. You know how most chiefs are like, it may take a couple of years and all of a sudden you get to that aha moment, like, oh my God, that's what they were trying to teach us, right? We were taught responsibility. We were taught that there's consequences to actions. We were taught a whole bunch of shit that we're not teaching to the younger generation. And we didn't get it until much later, and now it's a mistake. Your kids are already fucking grown. They well, I will also say that hey, Corporal Sergeant T, what's up? I will say that it's too late now. We once they got into college and the socialist the communist socialists in college taught them, like. Just I feel sorry for anybody who's in college right now, because I'll tell you right now, like here's why at 46 years old I don't want to go to college. I'll tell you why I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go to college because I realize as a 46-year-old I realize I'm paying the fucking bill. So that professor better fucking teach me. I don't want your student teacher. I don't want your teacher's aide. You better get off your fucking ass, get out of your goddamn office and teach me, because that's what I'm paying you for. And if I don't see a fucking professor, I'm going to talk to the dean of students. I'm going to be like, why am I paying, $750 for a semester credit hour when I never saw my goddamn professor? I'm sorry. I want a refund.
No offense, but I know we're in this tech age, but online classes are bullshit for what they cost. Just saying.
So that's why I don't want to go to college, because I know for a fact I'm gonna be laughed right out of fucking every kind of place, and I'll be like, no. And you know what? I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna pay for it all with a goddamn credit card. Because you know what? You know what's nice about a credit card? Here's one of the things I told him. I said, today there's airlines out there that will cancel your flight and not give you a refund, because if you look at the really fine print, they're not required to. You're not guaranteed a flight, even though it's a livery service that's supposed to get you from point A to point B. There's in the really really fine print that nobody fucking reads. They're really not. They don't guarantee you shit. But you always pay with the credit card, because with a credit card, right? The credit card is paying for a service that this person is supposed to provide. And if the service isn't provided, the credit card company will reverse the charges that fucking quick. So that's why $750 for a semester credit hour, I will be more than happy to pay for my college with a credit card. And when the professor doesn't come out to fucking to teach me, I will tell the credit card that they need to reverse the fucking charges on that, because I was not given the service that I was paying for. And you know what, parents? Wake the fuck up and do the same goddamn thing. Why are you paying for your kids' college education when, you know, and that should be, you know what, let's do that. Let's make college cost, education, and payment. So I think that's probably going to be
on the next episode.
Right, on the next episode of Will's Gayrodge, right? I think, you know, so here's for those of you that are just joining in, you're joining in at the very end. It's been a long I don't know how long we've been doing this live bullshit, but it's probably going to be a new podcast that Maddie and I do, because it's one of the things we kind of like. We talked about last week's episode, the Florida Parental Rights in Education Act, which it's what I want to call it what it actually is, not this vilified bullshit of don't say gay, because there's nothing in the act at all that says you can't say gay. If you read the act, because I read the act, and I challenge you to read the act and then get at me and say, oh no, it says you can't say gay, and I want to see exactly where it says that I'm not allowed to say that I'm gay, or you're not allowed to say that you're gay. What it does is it prevents the teacher. Again, what it does is it prevents the teacher from having a conversation about mental health.
Just a general
mental health. Okay.
Because I think like you talked about earlier with the don't ask, don't tell, the PTSD. I think that it just came to my mind talking about those things. I think and kind of Art's story and everything that we briefly touched on. And I think with your PTSD and my past, I think talking about general mental health and kind of things that we can do to better ourselves to kind of help us self-soothe in those moments, especially if you can't find the care that you need. So it kind of ties into that medicine side too.
And I will say, you know, thank you, Art, for being here from soup to nuts. But I will tell you that Maddie, like, you were in a really bad car accident, you know, and you suffer from some stuff from it. You know, I think I'd like Maddie to tell his story about his car accident that he had, and how he suffers from some stuff from that too. Because I think that, you know, that's one of the traumas that I don't think that we really pay attention to is automobile accidents. You know, I was in 2 major automobile accidents, and my father was in a car that, you know, he went into V-fib and lost consciousness. And, you know, unfortunately, because I didn't realize what I was doing CPR wise, I didn't understand what was happening, and he unfortunately did not survive his heart attack. So yeah, I think that's mental health is something that we can touch on. But anyway, so I'm going to go back, and so we talked about the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act, vilified as don't say gay. There's nothing in there that says you can't say gay. I challenge you to find something that does. What it does is it prevents radical activist teachers from going off script and having conversations or holding conversations that are inappropriate in the classroom. And I think that it's inappropriate in the classroom. As an instructor myself, Maddie agrees with me as an instructor that if it's not in your syllabus, you shouldn't be teaching it.
That's what we're paid to do, and that's what our job is to do, is to deliver the information on the syllabus.
So that we talked about cougars hitting on gay men. We talked about poor Florida drivers. Jesus fucking Christ. But both of my major accidents were in Florida. One was my fault. One was a 80-year-old man in a Mercedes E320. Not that I know anything about this, the facts on that. And then the third one was actually right as we crossed the Missouri-Arkansas border. Let's see. Shitty mental health and VA care. Like, we can have like 50 documentaries on poor mental health and VA care. And then last but not least, we talked about centralized medicine and how, you want shitty medicine or shitty medical care.
I separated those.
Oh, you did. Look at you. You want to talk about, shitty healthcare? Let us go to centralized medicine. You think their healthcare is bad now. It's going to go straight into the toilet then.
Straight to hell.
Because, here's the thing. I'd rather have a money-grubbing fucking doctor that wants money. I'd rather that doctor want money and take care of me than, we're only going to pay you whatever the fuck we feel like paying you. And
we'll see you when we feel like seeing you. Bye.
I love you.
I love you too.
So yeah. So next time, I think we're gonna move this because I think that naturalists and nudists will transition really well into gay monogamy. So next time we're gonna talk about naturalists and nudists. Myself, I have been introduced to the naturalist and nudist lifestyle. I used to go to Black's Beach when I was stationed in San Diego. I also used to go to some of the poly. I can do poly, I guess. But I was stationed in San Diego, and I used to go to Black's Beach all the time. And when I got out of the gay community with nudity, and I started getting into just the nudist community, where it was a mixed bag, you'd have gay and straight there, I learned something very powerful about the naturalist and the nudist community that I think that I'd like to talk about and explain in more detail about how they are probably some of the most genuine people that you'll ever want to meet. Because I really think that they have nothing to hide. I mean, Matt and I went to Playa Linda Beach, and we met two really great people that unfortunately, one broke 2 toes and isn't going to be able to make it, and the other one got really sunburnt last weekend, so she's not going to be able to make it this weekend. But, I mean, like, we've met some really great people. I mean, like, people that we would hang out with outside the beach. I would hang out with them anywhere. Like, they're just great people. We just happen to be naked on a beach. So and I think that that there's some misconceptions about what naturalism and nudists are all about. I know that I've got some friends that think it's all about sex and sexuality, and it's not. There's a lot more to it. It's more in depth and complicated than what we think. So
absolutely. And I think kind of going into that real quick before we go really into it. I think too it's been one of those things that. A misconception is, like you said, that it is about sex and sexuality, but in all but in just in minor ways, because there's so much to it. It's about being vulnerable, and I think as human beings, we need to be
very vulnerable. And I can tell you that so I think Maddie and I have been friends for about 6 months now, and maybe a little longer. And I can tell you that when I first invited him to the beach, he was very apprehensive. And I can say that over the past 6 months, there's been a marked change in his personality. He's more confident. He's more outgoing. He's not as shy and timid as he used to be. And I think it's because I know, right? And I really think it's because when you become comfortable in your skin and you can let it all hang out, if you will. Just make sure you put sunscreen on your pool noodle.
I brought plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah, you got to have SPF 100 on the pool noodle. You don't go out there with SPF 30 on the pool noodle. You'll get
and the floater on the back.
Yeah, that's right. The floater in the back.
The floaty, I should say, I guess.
So naturalism and nudism going into gay monogamy and polyamory. Which it's interesting that you bring that up, Art, because Maddie and I talked about that a little bit today, and we talked about thruples.
Thrupples.
It's basically, you know, in the gay community, you'll find a lot of, it'll be like 3 men in a relationship where, you know, what I have noticed, and this is just me noticing, is I have noticed that you never see 3 men in their 20s get together, and now it's 3 men in their 40s. What I have noticed, and Maddie kind of agreed with me, was that you always see 2 men in their 40s and 1 guy in his 20s, and it's not because it's about polyamory as much as it is there's something missing in their relationship, and they're bringing a third in to figure it out. And what happens is they figure it out, and either the 2 40-year-olds break up, and because one of them is going with the 20-year-old, or they kick the 20-year-old to the side because they realize that they wanted a third, they got a child. So that's gay, monogamy, and poly. We're gonna talk about Hedy Lamarr in her 1930s. She's a 1930s classical actress and what she brought to World War II, which that's actually kind of cool. I like the idea of like maybe bringing some history into that. And then let's see, college cost, college education, and how we really need to start looking at how we pay for that type of shit and or not pay for that type of shit. And then last but not least, we're going to touch on mental health again. So you know, I want to thank you for being here for our little power hour in the Gayrodge. We may not always be in the Gayrodge. We may not always be. I'll probably always be sorting Legos. It's just what I fucking do.
I will be fidgeting because that's typically what I do. I'm very ADHD, but I'm also OCD, so everything has to be perfect, but not for long.
It's got to be. Look, he's got it. Look, so I'm sure that like you should see what's on the table right now. Like you know what? Here I'm gonna. You want to know what fucks up an ADHD OCD motherfucker? Look at this. You see this? You see how like this isn't like they're not all like perfectly like this, and then they're not separated by color and all this. Like give him 5 minutes, and that's what's gonna happen because he's gonna be like motherfuckers. Kelly Clarkson.
I'm trying to. That's right. I'm trying to keep it nice and classy for the Gayrodge. So.
The Gayrodge. Well, you know, there's nothing classy about the Gayrodge. Just ask Rebecca Goza. Rebecca knows me. There's nothing classy about Will. Well, I'm classy with a K, right, girls? So, anyway. It's funny because, you know, my tag off or my go away is you stay classy and I'll see you on the backside. It's supposed to be I'll see you on the flip side, but you know
it's the Gayrodge, so see you on the backside.
Well, it's always been the spoof of I say it wrong. Do you know what I'm really saying? I know what I'm saying. I'm not dumb. I play dumb on TV, but I'm not dumb.
He stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
I'm not a real chief, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
That's right. I'm not a real flight attendant, but I did stay at Holiday Inn Express.
No, there's gonna be some chiefs that are just like, you know, giving the smiley faces, and then they're gonna ask me what time is it. They're gonna ask me, let's see, are you a real chief? The answer was I'm not a real chief yet. They're gonna ask me a question I don't know the answer to, and I'm gonna have to say, you know, not being informed to the highest degree of accuracy, I hesitate to articulate for fear that I might deviate from my true course of rectitude. There's some fancy bullshit for you, right? What time is it? That's going to be another one that's asked. What time is it?
Tool time.
No. It's due to the fallacious nature of my chronometer and the inability of my cerebrum to function in a manner of an august chief pet officer. I'm unable to ascertain the correct military time to a punctilious degree. However, it is my firm belief that the approximate military time is, and then whatever the fucking time.
I got ascertain, so whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, all kinds of weird shit. But yeah. Anyway, so I think we're gonna sign off. You any final thoughts?
Spay and neuter your pets.
Thank you, Bob Barker.
Right.
And on that note, y'all stay classy, and we'll see you on the backside.